An even bigger impact on performance is how Drupal handles caching. We've bumped into the cache a couple of times before. The idea of a cache is that it takes Drupal a lot of processing power in order to produce output. So if we go to the home page, for example, there's a lot of logic that goes into displaying this. It has to go and find menu items, grab all of the details it needs for that, figure out how to sort them, wrap them in some HTML, and then inject it as a block in another layer of rendering. All that takes processing power. So if the end result of that processing is going to stay the same over time, it makes sense to store that end result and serve that up instead of going through all of the logic required to build it from scratch. The way that Drupal 8 handles caching is with a tagging system. So for example, if we take this menu block here, once this menu block gets rendered and cached, it can be used until something changes in the block, in the menu, or in the pieces of content that are related to the menu items. So Drupal will associate a set of tags related to this cached item. And if something changes for one of those tags, it will invalidate the cache, which means it will clear it out and force it to be rebuilt the next time it gets requested. This is pretty powerful. It means that for anonymous users, where they don't see user-specific information, nearly all of the pages that they see are going to be fully pulled from the cache. And for authenticated users that are logged in, there will be big chunks of the page that will still be pulled from the cache. If you come from older versions of Drupal, then you might have the sense that you have a little work ahead of you in order to make sure that this caching is configured properly. But in Drupal 8, it's done for you by default. If we go to the performance page again, you can see that the only option we have under caching is page cache maximum age. And this doesn't have anything to do with the server. Instead, it's telling the browser how long it should keep data before it refreshes it. But this doesn't have anything to do with the server. This is simply telling the browser how long it can store cached content before it goes and requests new content from the server. By default, this is set to no caching, so the browser will always go to the server for new content.